and welcome to Friday. Excuse me looking at my phone. I'm just going to turn the live broadcast to public. Thank you to Leslie for reminding me so that I can see your comments. So let's just flick this on to edit privacy, public. There we go. Done. So I'll be able to see. Hi, Mandy. I'll be there. I can see the comments straight away this morning. Hi, Helen. See, technology. I won't be beaten by it. I'm very, very unorganized this morning. Hi, Rebecca. My husband said to me about 10 minutes ago, aren't you going live at 9 o'clock? Ah! So I had organized. I had got most of the stuff ready. Hi, Maria. Hi, Stacey. So, yeah. A bit flustered this morning. And breathe. Hi, Vicky. So, Friday again. I don't know where the time goes. Hi, Susie. Hi, Leslie. Thank you for the reminder, Leslie. I have switched it to public. Hi, Laura. Hi, Karen. So, working today. Interesting one for today. Hi, Louisa. Louisa, I'm loving your mermaid pictures. Fantastic. Louisa is our mermaid, basically. She's our kitchen witch mermaid. See, totally lost my train of thought now. I thought of mermaids, and do you ever get that feeling it's going to be one of those days when you've got so much planned, but you're actually not going to achieve any of it? Hi, Jenny. So, Friday again, week 497 of this bizarre world that we're living in at the moment. I think I have gone insane if I wasn't beforehand. But hey ho, onwards and upwards. I've got a very nice little spell plate. Hi, Vanessa. I've got a very nice, I better not hold it that way up, had I? Very nice spell plate today. Hi, Peter. This is from Freya's Cauldron. I had my eye on it for a while. It is handmade. And it's got little holes for candles, and you can put all your spell bits on it. It's quite raw at the moment, so I am going to oil it. I haven't got around to it yet because I've been doing a book manuscript. I finally handed in Beneath the Moon yesterday. 144,000 words or something, biggest book I've ever written. So I think the comment from my publisher was, wow, that's a big boy. So I've been a bit busy. But today we are working with, hi Jeff, Flower Magic Oracle cards. All of the pictures on all of the cards are taken from flowers in my garden that I have grown at some time or another. Interesting one today. Thank you, Mindy. Interesting one today. I almost didn't do it, but I thought, no, it's the right one. So today we have Bleeding Heart or Decentra. And the key word, thank you, Rebecca. And the key word for this is sorrow. And with everything that's going on at the moment, I almost didn't do it, but then I thought, no, that's the card that's come out, so go with it. And funny enough, bleeding hearts are out in flower at the moment. We've got white ones in our garden as well, which are very pretty. So bleeding heart and sorrow. So let me read you. Thank you, Susie. Let me read you the blurb. So don't be too despaired. Despaired? Is that a word? It's going to be an interesting one today. Let me hold that up there. So, the blood lies of a bleeding heart. Disappointment is a start. You don't need to take on the sorrow. A new fresh day begins on the morrow. Let go of all the stress. Allow yourself to worry less. So, I'm actually going to work with the other side of sorrow in a minute. Sometimes it happens, but you can do things to reverse it. This plant does what it says on the tin. The heart is bleeding. Not literally. Ye gods, I hope not. But emotionally. First of all, don't panic. Maria's had this one too. Yeah, it happens, Maria. It's life, isn't it? Sorrow comes in all forms, and if acknowledged and managed properly, it can be dealt with avoiding heap loads of the drama queen stuff. Sorrow can be distress caused by others, and believe me, I've had some of that this week. Maybe that's why this card's come up. Disappointment, unhappiness, despondency, misfortune, or several other really depressing sounding words. And here's the thing. Life happens. You've got to deal with what's thrown at you and move on. Others may well be spitting in your pool of tranquility, but you can counteract it. They really are not worth your time and energy. Dismiss it straight away. You don't need to take on sorrow caused by the action of others. This card usually signifies the superficial drama-rama, oh, your poor bleeding heart type of sorrow. I will allow you to throw yourself onto the chaise lounge for a few seconds, but then you've got to just readjust your tiara, throw on your feather boa, and strut right out there. Hi, Sue. Yeah, I think that's why this card, I hadn't really made the connection. I've had a couple of interesting online disagreements, let's say, this week. And I think there's a lot of it out there at the moment on the good old interweb. I think people take social media and like to argue. And I think we say bless your heart here in the South. Yep, that's about right, Mindy. And I think there is a lot of it at the moment. People are starting to struggle, and it's a long time to be dealing with what we're dealing with. And I think people are starting to get a bit angsty and argumentative and wanting to blame other people. Hi, Caroline, sorry. My screen's a bit far away today, so it's seeing the words are a bit blurry. There is a lot of it at the moment. I think people are starting to gripe at each other. Do try and be kind. Remember that although we're all in different boats, we're all on the same sea. Bleeding heart actually is very good in magic. The flowers are obviously little hearts, but sadly with little drops of blood. I use them in workings to banish sorrow. You can burn them, you can bury them. But if you take the little drop of blood, the little white bit there, from the flower, you can use them in love spells because you then get just the little heart. They can also be used in divination. Crush the flower. If the juice runs red, then true love is with you. If it runs white, then sadly there's no love in your life at the moment. The folk name, the bleeding heart, includes lyre flower, as in Lyre, lady's locket, Dutchman's breeches, and lady in a bath, which is a good one. It does look like a little lady in the bath. If you turn the flower upside down, it's a little lady in the bathtub. The tale is told of a beautiful but vain princess who didn't like any of the suitors that came to visit. Fussy. A handsome prince called by and fell in love with the princess, but she spurned him. He offered her gifts. 2 pink rabbits. If you break off the 2 outside petals of the flower, you will see a pair of pink rabbits. He gave her a pair of slippers. So if you take out 2 long petals from the front and back of the flower, you have a pair of slippers. He was so distraught that he took out his dagger and pierced himself through the heart. The flower that you're left with looks like a heart with a line down the centre. Take out the stamen and you have a dagger to pierce the heart with. As soon as the prince died, of course, the princess realised she loved him. Oh, honestly, some people. Fantastic folk story tied up with the bleeding heart, like a fairy tale. Hi, Lani. So that's the bleeding heart. So that's your card sorrow, but don't panic. This is about drama-rama. This is about, as I said, I've had this. That's why this card's come up. Never even made the connection. This is about internet trolls, I think, this week. It's about people staring up and causing a bit of heartbreak, but it's emotional and it's easy to dispel. So I'm going to work a little spell today. I'm going to make a medicine or spell pouch, but I'm not going to make it for sorrow. Hi, Thea. Can everyone else hear me? Thea has no sound. I'm assuming everyone else can hear me, because otherwise I'm sure you would have said. Might need to check your settings, Thea. Everyone has been answering me, so I'm assuming everyone can hear me. Please do post if you can't, because seriously, I've been talking for 10 minutes now. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Mindy. Yeah, good. I'm glad I've not been waffling to myself for the last 10 minutes. Thank you, people. Thea, I don't know. I'm assuming, as everyone else can hear, it must be one of the settings on your Facebook or on your phone or your computer or however you are listening to it. So check your settings, my lovely. Right, so let's have a look at, I'm looking at uplifting magic. If you're dealing with sorrow, or if you're dealing with a bit of grief of any sort, work some uplifting magic. So I've looked at plants, herbs and foods. Oh, Thea thinks it's her phone. It's rather old. I'm sorry, my lovely. Yeah, I hear you about feeling old. Demetra, hello from over the water. How are you doing? Okay, right, let's have a look at the correspondences. So for uplifting, some of the herbs, plants and foods. So we've got all my various boxes here. Cardamom. Little cardamom seeds, usually used in curries. Yum, yum. Thank you, Vanessa. Yep, so cardamom, they're really good for uplifting. They smell lovely. Lemons, which I haven't got at the moment, but I have got oranges. I've got them in various forms. I've got dried, sliced oranges. Tend to use those in incense. Chop them up into lumps in incense, or I've got it all ground up there as well. If you dry orange peel out, you can grind it, and it's brilliant for incense and spell working. You can also use the orange pips if you want to. That same magical properties. Chocolate, obviously, haven't got any here because I'm not going to put it in a spell pouch because it will melt and be all icky. Or maple syrup, again, for the same reason, I'm not going to put it in a medicine pouch. Also, basil, cake, obviously. Lavender, which I've got some of here. I've got lavender flowers that I dried from my garden. What else have we got? Cheese. Cheese makes you happy. Not so much water. No, that's true. Demetria's in Greece. Yeah, let's hope that visits across different countries open up fairly soon. Could you put the... Yes, you could put the chocolate in a plastic baggie in there. If what I prefer to use, which I actually haven't got at the moment because I'm a bit short on supplies of some things, because it's been, although I have flour and yeast. I'm not showing off, but I have flour and yeast. I don't have cocoa nibs. Cocoa nibs are brilliant to use in spell work because they're much easier to deal with than chocolate. I also work with cocoa powder, but because I'm going to be using one of these little bags, if you put cocoa powder in there, it all leaks out. So yes, you could put the chocolate in a little plastic bag inside it, but if you've got cocoa nibs, use that. And if you're not using a spell pouch with holes in, you can use cocoa powder. Lots of options. What else we've got? Cheese. Yeah, don't put cheese in there. Grapefruits, lemons, oranges, all of the citrus fruits are really good for happiness and uplifting. Again, I would dry them all. Don't put them in fresh. Dry the peel, or use the pips. Various other things here. Lemongrass, that works quite well. Jelly is happy and uplifting. Don't put that in your spell pouch either. Honey, happiness, uplifting, not in the pouch. Lots of things not to put in the pouch here. Marjoram, which I've got here, or oregano, pretty much the same thing. That grows in my garden. Parsley, pine nuts, quince, radish, saffron. Now, I have got saffron because I like to use it in baking, but it's really expensive and I don't want to use it in my spells because I'm tight like that. What I did find in the Indian supermarket is safflower. Now, I know it's not the same thing, but it looks very similar and it's got a fantastic colour. So I actually used that. Let me show you. Safflower. I actually use that in place of saffron in spells because I do. Because it feels right, basically. Sunflower seeds as well you can use, and wine. Again, don't pour the wine into your spell bag. It would be incredibly messy. There's a huge amount of lists here of things that are for uplifting and for happiness. I'm going to post it on my Pathos Pagan blog in the next few days. I won't read through them all because you will die of boredom. But let's have a look at the crystals for uplifting and happiness. Blue lace, good old blue lace agate. Got a little piece there, stripy blue. Celestite, which again I have got, but it's gone missing. Goldstone, one of my favourites. I think any of the brightly coloured sunshiny stones would be good, actually. A piece of Larimar, which I have in my beautiful necklace by Pixie Made, but I have a piece of Larimar there as well. Lepidiolite, which is a fantastic name. Moonstone, not a personal favourite, but moonstone. Quartz, and I've got a big old chunk here. Smoky quartz as well. I think this one is about clearing the negative energy. That's what the smoky quartz is for. And I've got a little piece of turquoise as well. They're all good for uplift. They're all good uplifting energy stone. Citrine, yeah, citrine is absolutely brilliant, Lani, because it is a happy sunshiny stone, isn't it? I've also got a piece of orange calcite because that's really good for positive energy. So I'm going to be working with that as well. So let's have a look at making a spell pouch. Oh, I didn't do the cards, did I? So obviously, your oracle card. I wouldn't particularly use the one, there's a dog in the background. I wouldn't particularly use this one. I would pick one from the set that says happiness or uplifting or something positive, because that's the spell you're working with. If you want to work with the tarot card, we've got a whole host of them here today for happiness and positive energy. Obviously, the sun, because that's always a bright, shiny, happy card. These are the Gateway to the Divine Tarot cards. I love the artwork on these. The Empress, because she's always full of positive energy. The Star, beautiful, beautiful card. Jenny saying, yes, yeah, Helen, citrine's good, but do you know, I've lost my citrine as well. So I sorted out all of my crystals yesterday. They are now organised and labelled, but apart from the ones that I couldn't identify, which I've got the girls working on. And my citrine's all disappeared. No idea where it's gone. But there you go. Jenny, hello, Eric. Yeah, he's gone. He's sitting in the sun now in the conservatory. Leslie, I can't look at moonstone without thinking of cooked fish. But it does. This looks like a piece of cooked fish. It so does. I don't know why it always makes me think of that. Sorry about that, Leslie. I've spoiled that for you now. The World is another happy card, because obviously that means, you know, hurrah, everything's wonderful. We've got the Four of Wands. There's a few here. Apologise for that. Ace of Cups. I'm pretty sure that Louise is going to love that card. The Ten of Cups. Oh, it's got a dog and a cat on. Look. The ten of coins or Ten of Pentacles. And my favourite piece of artwork from this deck is the Queen of Wands. She is fantastic. So much power and energy in that card. I absolutely love that image. It's fantastic. Hello, did I mention your name? So you've come out of the conservatory now. Dog's come to see what we're doing. Right, so I'm actually going to work with the Queen of Wands as my card because I love her. Now, I've got a main candle. This, oh, it smells lovely. These little candles I got recently from the Children of Artemis website, from their shop. They do a whole load of, they're all soya candles and they all smell amazing, and they're all in these little glass things. Do go and have a look at the Children of Artemis shop. There's got some fantastic things there. So I'm going to light this as my main just focus candle, if you like. So somewhere, See, I told you I was totally unorganized today. Let's light a candle. You could work candle magic for this, and I have got some here because this board has funky little holes, look, for the candles. Brilliant. But as I'm making a medicine pouch, we're not going to work with them today. But I picked happy colours, yellow, pink, red. To me, they're all uplifting and they're all happy colours. But, you know, go with what works for you. So let's set him there so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Spell bag. Now, it's up to you what you use. I buy these because they're cheap and they come in all different sorts of colours. And if you know me by now, you know I love to use colour magic. So they're absolutely brilliant. And I don't have to sew it, which is an even bigger bonus. But you could use pieces of material. You could make your own little bags. You could just use a square of fabric. I'd say a handkerchief, but I'm not sure anybody uses handkerchiefs anymore. But that would work. And then you could just pull it up together and tie it with some ribbon. You could also just use an envelope. Again, if you can get coloured envelopes, they're brilliant, because they are biodegradable as well, of course, so you can bury them, which work really well. So I've gone for yellow because it's a happy and uplifting colour. And the things I'm going to work with are, let's have a look. So I'm going to pop a stone in there. I've got a little tiny here, goldstone pyramid. Jenny's put up the link. Thank you, Jenny, for the candles. You can buy through Children of Artemis, Etsy, or on that link. Excellent, thank you. Do buy through Children of Artemis because they do need our support at the minute. And they do lots of other fantastic things as well. My recent order had candles and a jar of incense, which would smell absolutely amazing, which they'd made. And I got a t-shirt as well. So do have a look. So I'm going to pop a bit of goldstone in here. Take the crystal in your dominant hand. Although I'm right-handed, mine tends to be in my left hand. It's just how it works. And charge it with your intent. You can draw up the energy through your feet from the earth, or you can draw it down from the sky, from the elements around you, however you want to work. Channel it into the crystal. Don't use your own energy. Don't take your inner energy. You're the channel. You're not the provider of the energy. Or just simply tell it what you want it to do. Uplifting and happiness. I'm going to take the price label off the bottom. Look, this one's still got a little label on the bottom with the price on it. Look at that. Pop it in the bag. And then you've got to decide whatever else you want in there. I'm going to start with the cardamom. Now, I like to, if I'm working with something that you can count, I'm not talking sesame seeds or something tiny like that, because you don't want to be counting those out. If you've got something like that, you just put a pinch. But when I've got something tangible like this, I count them, and I'm going for 9, because 9 is such a powerful number. 3 times 3. So I've got 9 cardamoms here. So I will charge them with my energy, with the intent of uplifting, dispelling sorrow, dispelling negative energy. And pop those in the bag too. If anyone's got any questions, by the way, about this, about what I'm doing, or about anything witchcraft related, or anything about me that you might possibly want to know, do post in the comments there, and I will do my very best to answer the questions. That, you know, makes it roll more interesting if people have questions. So that's my cardamom. I've got the safflower, which I'm going to put in. It's such an amazing colour. You couldn't fail to be uplifted by that. And it's got a real fiery energy to it as well. I'm going to do a pinch of this. It smells quite earthy. It's very nice. So I'm going to put a big pinch of that in. Give it a shake up and charge with happiness and uplifting. And I tend to put 3 pinches in when I do pinches of things. If you've got saffron and you're happy to use it, put a little pinch of that in instead. I prefer to eat mine. Save it for saffron buns because they're lovely. What we've got next, lavender. Now, lavender's happy, but I think it's also about peace and calm and easing the sorrow. So I've got some little sprigs in here. So we'll go for peace, happiness, and positive energy. So that's the lavender. That smells lovely. Does anyone know where I can get honeysuckle flowers from? Says Rebecca. I grow mine and dry them myself, so I don't know, Rebecca. I don't know if Star Child might have some. If anybody else knows, perhaps you can pop it in the comments, or I will look up afterwards, Rebecca, and see if I can find somewhere for you. But Star Child might be able to help. What we're going to put in there next. I'm going to put orange in. I'm actually going to put a slice of orange in, because if I put the ground orange peel in, it's all going to fall out of the bag. So I've got a slice of the dried orange, so I'm going to charge that with the energy of uplifting and positive energy, and that goes in the bag. Again, lemon, grapefruit, any of the citrus fruits you could do that with. Just a piece of the dried peel would work as well. Marjoram I'm going to put in here. This just smells of pizza. So I'm going to put some pinches of that in. So happiness, uplifting, and positive energy. Give that a nice shake, filling up very nicely. I think that's all my ingredients I'm going to put in, but what I'm actually going to do is add a bit of dragon's blood. Not literally dragon's blood, because that's just cruel. This is actually the resin from a tree. Now I've got some bits in here. It's very powdery and it's very dirty, and I'm going to end up with it everywhere. But dragon's blood will not only give it a boost of positive energy, it also give it a kick. Popping some dragon blood in really kind of boosts the spell. I'm just going to get one lump out. Here we go. See if I can show that to you. It's not overly pretty. It's just a piece of resin, basically, like you get frankincense or copal. Mendy loves dragon's blood. Yeah, I do. It's one of my favourites. The smell of it, dragon's blood incense, is one of my favourites. But the resin works really well because it boosts whatever spell you're working with. Yeah, Maria, I'm not surprised you like dragon's blood. It's very heavy metal. It boosts the spell because it's got such a powerful energy of dragon magic behind it, and because it's very fiery, it gives your spell a boost. So it gives a real kick and boost of energy to your spell. You can also use ginger for the same thing. It will give your spell a real kick. Leslie, what's the best way to dry citrus fruit? I don't have a warm cupboard. No, I don't have an airing cupboard either, Leslie. I'm a bit sad about that, really. I slice them. Usually when they're oranges or lemons that have been left in the fruit bowl and sort of starting to be past their best, slice them, lay them on a baking sheet and put them in a really low oven. You might have to leave them for an hour, a couple of hours. Keep an eye on them, but put them in the oven really low, and they will dry out. You can also sprinkle them with cinnamon or cloves or something like that to add to the magic. But that's how I do it. That's how these ones were dried. All just sliced, laid on a baking tray and put in a really low oven. Just keep an eye on them, and it makes the house smell amazing. It smells like Christmas when you're doing it. So that's my bag, basically. So I'm going to charge it as a whole. Close it up. Charge it as a whole, again, with your intent and your energy to uplift, positive energy, happiness. And you're pretty much done. You could charge it under a waxing or a full moon if you wanted to. You could, probably even better, is to put it outside in the sunshine to charge with sun energy, because that's got a more positive, uplifting energy to it. So charge it out in the sun if you want to. Have a waft over incense or candle flames if you want to as well. But basically your medicines or your spell pouch is done. Yes, that's, oh, Star Child don't have it. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah, Etsy or eBay would, if people will dry it. It's a strange one, isn't it? It's not one that's used a lot traditionally in magic. So I would imagine you'd have to look at some sort of specialist. But that's true. Jenny suggested they might use it for wedding confetti and things. So yeah, Etsy or eBay is probably worth a look. Yeah, maybe even on Amazon. You never know. They have everything else. But yeah, I grow it, so I've not actually ever looked for it anywhere, but we'll find somewhere. Don't worry, we'll find somewhere. So that's your spell pouch done, basically. You can carry it with you, and then it's a reminder if you're feeling a bit low, you need a bit of uplifting, you can just hold the bag and focus on the energy of it. You can pop it on your altar or your bedside table, entirely up to you. When you feel it's done the magic, when you feel it's exhausted, you can feed it. You can take more of the ingredients. Rebecca, thanks. Yeah, Etsy's worth a look, Rebecca. Etsy's where they sell yeast and all sorts at the moment. So yeah, Etsy's definitely worth a look, particularly for dried flowers, because as Jenny says, they probably use them for wedding confetti and things. But yeah, you can feed your bag. Basically, if the energy is running low, you can feed it. Make powder. Use very similar ingredients to the ones that you put inside, put them in a pestle and mortar and grind them up, and then just put a sprinkle in, and you're basically feeding the energy and recharging it. Or you can just put it back outside in the sunshine for a little bit to recharge as well. It's up to you. Feeding it with the sachet magic powder keeps it going. But if you feel it's done and dusted and you don't need it anymore, or you want to make a new one, tip all the inside contents into your compost heap or into the garden or somewhere, because it's all biodegradable, apart from the crystal. You can take the crystal out and recharge it, cleanse it and recharge it. I would throw the bag away, I must admit. I wouldn't reuse the bag again. It's a bit like candles. I wouldn't use them for other things. But then you're done. And if you want to make another one, make another one. They are really, really simple. It's like a spell in a bag, and you can pop whatever you've got into it. It doesn't have to be fancy ingredients. Use whatever you've got in your kitchen cupboards. Men need to make one for work. It's like high school people always bickering. That's what social media feels like at the moment, Mindy. I think we do need a bit of uplifting. You might want a bit of protection to bring in there too, Mindy. But yeah, bit of calming, bit of peace needed for that one. Lavender would be perfect for that. Demetria, this is great synchronicity. I was just visited by 2 butterflies. Fantastic. Dancing in front of me and sitting on my palm for a few moments. So the spell is working. Fantastic. I think grief and sorrow are interesting words, aren't they? They kind of conjure up real misery, basically, for want of another word. But let me just reread the card again. Let me just read again what the meaning of the card is, because sorrow isn't necessarily what we think it is. Although this is the bleeding heart, it is emotional. Sorrow comes in all forms, and if acknowledged and managed properly, it can be dealt with. Sorrow can be distress caused by others, disappointment, unhappiness, despondency, misfortune. But life happens, and I think for me this card's come up because I've had to deal with a couple of people being bullies, basically, on social media this week. So I'm sure that's why this card's come up, because I pulled it and thought, oh, what's that all about? Should have trusted my intuition, shouldn't I? This really is about other people causing drama, I think, at the moment. That's what this is all about. So don't let them spit in your pool of tranquility. You are in control. You have the power. Caroline, once you light the candle, do you have to wait until it burns away? Not this one that I've lit here, because I've just used it as a focus candle. And if I sat and waited for this one to burn out, I'd be here for several days. If you're working with a spell candle, like one of these ones, and if I'd actually used that as part of the spell, yes, I would have waited until it had burnt out, because they burn quite quickly. Because I just used that as a focus candle, no, yeah, gone. I just snuff it out and reuse it. I didn't use that as part of the spell. I just used it as a focus because it's a yellow candle and I wanted a focus for it. But no, spell candles, yes. If you're actually working the candle as part of the spell, wait till it's burned out. But not that one. Yeah, that's interesting. Maria said only if you're sitting with it. I relight it if I have to leave. Yeah, if you're interrupted halfway through a spell, don't leave the candle lit. put it out and, you know, come back to it. But yes, if I'm working an actual spell, I'll wait till the candle's burnt out, but not for a focus one, no. Don't mess with the witch. Sal, that is very, very wise advice. Very wise advice. Yes, that is my Freya's Cauldron candle plate, Maria, and it's got little holes for the candles and bits in the middle where you can kind of do your thing. Tea lights are good, Caroline, but they do burn for quite a while. So if you are going to use them as part of the spell, then wait till you feel that the energy of the spell is done and then blow the candle out. But you'd have to I would throw the tea light away then, because it's been used specifically for an intent. If you've just used tea lights to kind of dress your altar and put some atmosphere in, but then that's fine, you can just blow them out and use them again. But if you actually use the candle as part of the magic, let it burn out completely or blow it out and dispose of the rest of the candle, if that makes sense. Mendy, what would you suggest for a person that's always dishonest? Smack up the back of the head usually works for me, Mendy. Was that not the right answer? Let me have a look, Mendy. I think we're looking at truth here, aren't we? So I think a truth spell is probably the best one to work with for that. I know we've got some truth things here. They are truth. So truth is bluebell, which is not that easy to get hold of, but cloves. Cloves are really good. They're also really good for stopping gossip. So I would say, actually, Mendy, cloves would be your main focus. Honesty, the plant honesty, obviously. Pine needles, St. John's wort, snapdragon, sunflower, and sweet pea. So that the easily obtainable ones out of that, cloves, pine needles, and sunflower seeds. But I'd really focused on clove for that, Mendy, because that is good for truth, and it's also good for protecting against gossip. Work a candle spell, work a, you know, spell bag, entirely up to you. Yeah, Alani says spell candles are brilliant and they come in so many different colours. Let me just disappear for a second. Don't go away. These are my spell candles. So I've got an awful lot of these type, which I do get from Freya's Cauldron, because they're all different colours. All different colours, and they burn quickly, and you don't have to sit there for days and days waiting for them to burn out. The other ones that I have are these type, which are the little beeswax ones. These are really good because they burn quickly and they don't leave any candle stubs either. And if you warm them, you can actually unroll them and sprinkle herbs inside and then roll them back up again. So you've got all your herbs inside the candle. So they're worth looking for, because again, they come in all different colours, pinks and yellows, and they burn really quickly. But if you don't want to use beeswax, and I appreciate some people don't, these type of spell candles are really good because all different colours and they burn quickly. I subscribe to Freya's Cauldron's monthly subscription box, and she sends candles. You get candles each time. So I've amassed quite a nice collection now. They're really useful. Let's just scroll up there. I will get you fired. Mendy, let's not get you fired. Yeah, just add it to the spell. If you're working with the spell for any intent, or just a candle, just a birthday candle will do. White candle if you don't want to work with the colour, because the white covers everything. I would, if you're working for a spell for dishonesty, I would work with the cloves, and I would dress the candle in clove oil, or even stick some of the cloves into the candle if you can, or even just sit them around the base of the candle and draw the energy from the clove. Go with your intuition on it. Do trust your intuition on it. Demetria, sorrow and grief are natural. They are. Yeah, it's sometimes the next necessary to take the next step. Oh yeah, caught in any cycle of sorrow or any kind of negative emotion, it is dreadful. You've got to break your way out of that. It's part of a process, isn't it? We all have to deal with it sometimes, but I think this card particularly is more about niggling, basically. It's about people being people. It's about people not being kind to each other. There's a lot of that going on social media at the moment, but we all need a bit of cheering up, bit of happiness, bit of uplifting at the moment. So go with whatever you've got in your cupboard, kitchen cupboard. Don't spend loads of money on ingredients, because, you know, Dimitri apologises for spelling. Yeah, I can't type on the mobile either. I'm dreadful, but it's brilliant, Dimitri. Don't worry about it. Sal says Freya's Cauldron Rock. They do. Yeah, their subscription boxes are fantastic. In fact, all of those plaques that you can see, I feel like a weather woman now. All of those plaques you can see on the wall behind me came in the subscription boxes. Jenny, I adore the candle box. I don't have enough candles. Actually, the box it's in was a box that the very lovely Maria, who's on here today, sent me a little hamper of bits and pieces, and it came in this box. So when I'd eaten all the lovely bits and pieces, I used the box. I have collected these over many years, and I never use as many as I actually buy. So I'll get through them eventually. Yeah, Lani says she uses spell candles a lot. I do. It's my go-to for a spell. It's just a candle spell. All you need is one candle. You don't even need anything with it. Helen says, could you write a spell and roll that back inside? Oh yeah, on these ones that would be, might be a bit difficult to actually write on the wax. I'll see if my hands aren't very warm. Let's see if I can unroll one. Oh look, here's one. Here's one I prepared earlier. I obviously unrolled this candle for something, put herbs in it, and it's going to break now because it's not warm enough. I don't know if you can see, but inside that are herbs, and then I've just rolled it back up again. You do have to be careful, because if not warm enough, it cracks. You could write your spell on a petition inside, Helen. Slip of paper, write it on, and roll that back up. That would work very well. Be very careful if you do put herbs inside beeswax candles, or dress a candle with oil and roll it in herbs, because the flame will get them. Once the flame reaches the herbs and the oils, it does tend to flare up a bit, so never leave it on its own. Rebecca recommends Freya's Cauldron too. Yeah, they're brilliant. She's a very nice lady. Lots of lovely stuff. Hi Eve. Yeah, we'll just do a little one for Eve. Look, Eve, candles, they come in purple. Look. Eve's there, purple, lovely. Lani says you can use oil and herbs and roll the candle in them. Yeah, dress your candle with oil, and it doesn't have to be any fancy oil either. You can use olive oil or sunflower oil, whatever you've got for cooking. Rub it on your candle. Get this right. If you're drawing something to you, from the bottom to the center and from the top to the center, rub the oil. If you're working a spell to send something away from you, dress the oil from the center to the top and from the center to the bottom. So outwards if you're getting rid of something, or inwards if you're bringing something to you. And then, yeah, you just roll them in herbs. Crush the herbs first. Brilliant. Hi, Max. There's the lovely, fantastic Sprig and Mist. If you want some fantastic online TV viewing, the brilliant band Sprig and Mist have got Sprig and Mist TV running, and it is absolutely brilliant. So do hop on over to their Facebook page and watch some of their Sprig and Mist TV. It's brilliant. Eve has a few purple spell candles. I expect you do. Maria bought some from Treadwell's not long ago. Yes, we had a kitchen witch trip up to Treadwell's, the bookshop in London, before all this madness happened. It was my first time. Fantastic shop, absolutely amazing bookshop, but they have lots of other magical bits and pieces as well. I think it is finding candles that are the right size. You don't want to work spell with something like that. Lovely as these are, they're brilliant for putting on your altar, for dressing things, and for using as focus. And they smell nice, but they're going to burn for hours, and you don't want to be sitting there waiting for that to burn out. pick on something like this or the smaller beeswax ones, because they'll burn out quickly, or even just birthday cake candles, because they burn out really quick. You don't want to be sitting there for hours and hours, unless you're working a long spell. So if you're working a spell over a week, you might work a spell with the energy of different days, work with a taper candle, and you burn part of the candle on the Monday, snuff it out. Burn the second part of the candle on the Tuesday, snuff it out, etc., etc. But never ever use a candle for different intents. So I wouldn't light this today and work with this one for uplifting and only burn half of it and keep it, and then work it on another day for a prosperity spell, because you're just going to confuse the energies. One candle, one spell. If you don't want to burn it all the way down, if you feel that it's done its job, snuff it out and dispose of the rest of the candle. Lani, never been to Treadwell's? No, we hadn't before. It's definitely worth a visit. It was a fantastic place. They are selling online as well at the moment if you want to have a look. So I've waffled for what feels like days now. That was the card for now, Bleeding Heart Sorrow. But it's all about being kind to each other. There's so much going on at the moment that I've seen in the last week of basically online bullying, people being very, very unpleasant to each other. Don't do it, because, you know, we're all in this together. We've all got our own issues to deal with as well. You never know what someone else is going through. So we've all got different opinions, and we're all allowed our different opinions. Everyone will have a way of thinking, and they'll have a reason for it. Just be nice to each other. Be kind to each other. We all need to help each other. Lani's planning a road trip. Yeah, not just at the moment, love, but yeah, definitely a road trip up to Treadwell's. That would be fab. So thank you all for joining me. If anyone's got any more questions, get them in now before I sign off for today. As always here if anyone's got any questions, just message me. The Kitchen Witch Facebook group. If you've got any questions about witchcraft at all, pop your question on there. You will get lots of suggestions, all polite ones, because we do monitor it. Always there to help you. If you keep an eye on the Kitchen Witch Facebook group, next Wednesday, if that's the 20th, next Wednesday, 2:30, it's Waffling Witches. So you'll find myself and the Kitchen Witch Hearth Guardians, and we're there for a live chat and a Q&A. Maria's going to get a needle and cotton for a flapping mouth. No, Maria, you stay just as you are. We love you just where you are. Lovely to see you. Yeah, you too, Max. It'd be good to catch up in the very near future. Demetria, we miss you too. What spells would you use purple or lilac candles for? The lovely Eve on here will use purple candles for everything, because she's our purple queen. Purple, psychic colour, very, very psychic colour, very magical colour. A lot of people will use it for healing as well, but it's also calming. If you check out my blog on rachelpatterson.co.uk and click the Colour Magic link tab, there's all sorts of references and correspondences for all the different colours. But purple, I would say, is my go-to for enhancing psychic abilities or astral travel, that kind of thing. So excellent. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be here again. Hi, Heather. Didn't know you were hiding there. I'll be here again next Friday, 9 AM UK time. If you've got any questions or anything that spirituality, Sue says, yeah, spirituality is a good one for purple as well. Maria, you can use them as well as black for binding spells. Yep, absolutely perfect for that as well. The darker ones particularly for that. But go with your intuition, trust your intuition. What colours mean to some people might be completely different to others. So go with your intuition as always. So I'll hopefully see a lot of you next Wednesday at the Waffling Witches online chat in the Kitchen Witch group. Details are over there. If you've got anything you would particularly like me to talk about at these chats, let me know. I will continue to work with the flower magic cards and giving me an intent, but if there's something in particular that you want me to go through, just chuck me a message and we'll take it from there. So thank you very much to everyone. All of the details will be up on my Pathos Pagan blog in the next few days. Have a lovely restful weekend and enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much for joining me. Signing off for now.